Hello everyone and welcome back to Dive Bomb F1. We're here for the season 6 finale. It's one final time in 2025. We're currently watching the Ferrari going around the streets of Las Vegas. Currently in P4 is Daniel P. Wheelnut. It's currently Jess Akabal leading the way on a 31.815, the exact same time as Darky, but Jess set the time first in the session, meaning she is on provisional pole with just under 10 minutes to go in the session as Daniel sets a purple sector 2. Sector 1, sorry. We'll quickly run through your championship order. So, once CJH begins the race, he's currently in third place. He will be crowned champion once the race lights go. Lewis Craig not here, the only driver that can challenge him. So once the lights go out in the Grand Prix, CJH will be crowned champion no matter what happens in the session. So CJH leads the way in the championship, 306 points. Been a great season from CJ. And then Lewis Craig in second on 296, with Jordan in third on 239. Daniel P. Willnett close behind as well on 235, with Jess Games on 230. So that battle for third in the championship and the potential to knock Lewis off second is there as well. Casper obviously did 6 races with us this season. He's on 170. Acorn on 155, with Geomark on 154. Jenga Boy on 136. And Chris Johnson rounds out the top 10 on 125. Jake down on 109 and 11th. He'll be hoping for a good night to maybe knock Chris out of that sort of top 10 battle. If you go to the constructors, there's only really 2 teams in it, Ferrari and Racing Bulls, the 2 teams that have been consistent all season long. We'll see who can come out on top. The Racing Bulls do have the advantage coming into tonight's 2 races by 44 points. 64 points a race, so it's not over for the likes of Red Bull and Williams, but they need a massive night and a couple of wins. In second place, Alistair Payne on a quick lap here. He was currently on a 32.2. That was on the medium, so a very quick lap. Obviously, Alistair picked up both wins last week and is pole position by just under 2/10 of a second, provisionally on pole with 6 minutes to go in the session. It's the Haas driver that's found form towards the end of the season on his rejoining of the league, currently taking the provisional pole, and he looks the driver to be setting the way for the final 2 races here around Vegas and around Hungary, which is later on tonight. Chris Johnson was down massively in Sector 1. We'll watch James. Gamer James, he was improving, and not now. Jordan not improving. Tony doesn't seem to be... Yeah, Tony's on a lap, it looks like, so we'll stick with Tony. In the Williams, 9th and 10th, they won't be too happy with that, the Williams drivers. They've been better this season, obviously both having at least one Grand Prix win in Dive Bomb. Tony, obviously, in Miami in Season 5. And if he can win a second race in the United States tonight, that would be fantastic for him and the Williams team. Obviously, Tony not guaranteed that Williams seat for next season. He's one of the few drivers on the grid that don't have a seat next season at the moment in a car. Obviously, Jess and Daniel P. Wheelnut, Lewis Craig, all confirming their seats early on. Wace as well. He'll be moving to McLaren, the Season 5 champion. Outgoing champion tonight once the race begins. Tony, though, 1.5 temps up here. Got plenty of ERS to play with down the back straights. You just don't want to use it too early. And he uses it now, just a little bit before, as we go on board, before the left-right chicane. Not using curb on the left, uses match curb as you can on the right-hand side. He gained a bit of battery back, and he'll deploy it now all the way to the end of the lap. He'll come round the start-finish straight final corner. Well, what will it be for Tony? It's an improvement, but not enough to knock off his teammate. So he'll need to go again. I think Wace is on an outlap. Is Jess and Darky both on laps? Darky, I think Jess is further round. It's 1.5 temps improvement for the Red Bull. What will it be as she comes round the final corner now for Jess? 31.7, so an improvement, but not enough to knock Alistair off top step. And now this lap does look like it's going to knock Alistair off provisional pole with just over 4 minutes to go. The best qualifier in Dive Bomb history versus the second best qualifier in Dive Bomb history. Darky versus Alistair. Is this a battle we're going to see in both races tonight? Only two drivers in dive bomb history to have double-digit pole positions. Darky 11, Alistair 10. Darky round the final corner now. It's provisional pole by 5.5 tenths. Massive improvement from Darky, and Alistair has got a job on his hands now to try and match the pace of the Mercedes. Car number 69 flying around the Las Vegas Strip. Can anyone challenge him? Scottish Goat will be next up. He did improve, not in position. He got past Chris Johnson, but I'm only on to the third row of the grid. The Ferrari in that battle for 7th place in the Drivers' Championship. He's wanting to hang on to his Ferrari seat. Daniel P. Whelan obviously out going to Aston Martin next season. That number 1 seat at Ferrari is up for grabs, and Scottish Gold would like that very much. And then we're getting some donuts from Waste. I think he's had a moment, so we'll stick off of him. Is anyone on a lap? I think Baza is starting an outlap, and he'll be the furthest one round. So, this will be Baza's last run if he goes for it. He won't get another lap in unless he comes into the pits right now. So we'll stick with him and see. The Welshman believe this is race 95 for Baza tonight. And he's underway on his last flying lap around Las Vegas. He was part of the famous Wet Grand Prix, where we had 12 runners and only 3 finished. That was the race Lewis Craig won, the only dive bomb race in history that was half points. Baza now looking to improve on that one race win if he can. The Williams moves out the way for him nicely, and we'll see what his Sector 1 split time on board with the Red Bull, and he's improving by 3.5 tenths. So it's a good start for the first sector for Baza. A little bit of a lock-up through the turn left-hander there, and it's going to cause him a bit of time and a bit of traction out of this corner here. The tyres burning up, using all the grip the softs have to offer here around Las Vegas. He comes round the swooping long right-hander. Avoid the wall on the right-hand side. Use all the racetrack you can here. It's very tight corner before you get down to the strip now, the longest straight on the track. That Red Bull going to have to use every bit of Red Bull Powertrain's engine supply it's got. Baza has a lot of ERS to his deployment as well. We'll see what that lap time is going to be from the Red Bull Welshman. Darky isn't going to go quicker. That's his provisional pole time, a 31.1, very fast from Darky. But it's all about Baza now. He's only got the final corner to go. Can he improve on P12? Final corner complete, and it's only P11, 5 tenths of improvement. So it just shows you how quick the grid is tonight. And I think Jake was the first man up, and he's clipped the wall, Jake. Final 2 Grand Prix in his dive bomb career, Jake. Obviously was a part of the TGP2 seasons we did as well on F1 24. So 4 seasons he's done with us. He's finding time still, even though he's clipped the wall. And as it is his last 2 races, there'll be no bad blood between Jake and Dive Bomb. Happy to see him go on to do better things if he can achieve better things, which we all expect of him. Obviously 1 podium to his name. He'll be hoping that he can make that 2 podiums before the night's out. And of course, we'll always be welcome back in the future. He is looking quick. It's 1.4 seconds of improvement, but his first lap was kind of a banker lap and wasn't really a representative time of his true ability. Doesn't have as much battery as Baza does down the back straight, but he'll use all he can in his final full qualifying as a McLaren driver, as a dive bomb driver, Jake. Left hand, right hand, perfect. Looked beautiful on the off-board camera. He'll use all of that 45% battery he can. Swoop under the Louis Vuitton sign. Don't cut the corner around the final corner. Up into the top 10. Not quite qualifying points. But we'll see now who is the furthest driver around. Is it CJH or is it Chris Johnson? I believe it's Chris Johnson. No, it's Alistair. He's definitely the furthest round. Alistair not finding the time to knock Darky off of the top step here. Looks like the pole position coming Darky's way. Alistair now round the final corner. He's got no deployment to his name, and it's not a big enough improvement. He does improve, but not by enough. It's the Aston of Acorn that's going to be next. Into the top 10 goes the Dive Bomb 2 champion of this season. I think a Ferrari's had a disaster on the back straight. Yep, looks like that is Scottish Goat limping round. Jess Games now. Jessica Ball. Her and CJH, the only two you'd imagine could mount a challenge to Darky here. We didn't see her Sector 2 split time. She'll come round that final corner, only P3. It's all on CJH now. There's no one else you'd imagine out of the drivers running that could mount a challenge to that pole position time. Darky and Jake ain't going to go again. James is in the pits. Scottish Goat coming in. It's all down to the champion now. CJH round the final corner, only 5th fastest. And it's 2 qualifying points for him. And it's a 12th pole position for Darky in Dive Bomb. Cementing that he is the greatest qualifier that Dive Bomb Sports have ever seen. And wow, 4 temps over Alistair Bain. That is no mean feat. Jess did her best, only 2 temps off Alistair, which is fantastic in her own right. But Darky, just insane pace to stick it on pole before we get racing around Las Vegas for only the 3rd time in DBF1 history. Obviously, previous winners, Lewis Craig 02, Damien Greenbean, obviously as well. We ran through the grid order, so it's Darky on pole with Alistair Bain on the front row of the grid. Jess and Daniel P. Wheelnut make it an all-British second row with CJH and Scottish Goat 5th and 6th, Chris Johnson 7th, Jordan and Tony only managing 8th and 9th. Not a good qualifying from the Williams team. Acorn in 10th with Gamer James 11th and Jake 12th with Baza in 13th. Kaya and Wace had their risk race qualifying, so they will start from the back of the field and they will score double points in the race. Sorry, I forgot Wace was doing that tonight, so that is why he was doing donuts and I wasn't. I was just being a bit of a toolbox. Now obviously you can't ready up on the grid until Baza gives the go ahead, or you get the time penalty. But 13 laps, no safety cars available in this Grand Prix. It's round 19 of 20. Plenty of action to come in the next few moments. And who is it going to be? Is it going to be Darky? Darky only ever won 6 Grand Prix in Dive Bomb, and he only wins if he's on pole. So is that an omen tonight? Is he going to win around the Las Vegas Strip? Or can Alistair Bain knock him off the top step? We'll just have to wait and see. Sorry, it's races 84 and 85, not 94 and 95 for Baza. So we've had 92 Grand Prix and he's competed in 83 of them. What an achievement for Baza. We'll obviously double check those facts, they're just off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure it's 83, so it'll be 84 and 85 tonight for Baza. Out of 92 Grand Prix, that's a fantastic statistic. The closest challenger to that 83 is Lewis Craig on 50, and he only reached 50 last week. So with Baza planning to do the next season as well, he'll breach the 100 mark, and then it's all about the chasing pack. Then it's myself on 46. Alistair will overtake me tonight. He's on 46 too. So the driver's getting up there in race starts, and the league being back to its best and fulfilling the true potential. We're seeing those race starts filling up. And if you add the TGP2 races that we provided, then Baz is well over the 100 mark. But we're on the grid now for the 19th time this season. It is Darky versus Alistair Bain. It's lights out, and away we go for the 19th time this season. It's a good start from Daniel P. Wheelnut, but Jess has managed to cover it off. She breaks early, not getting caught in between the Haas and the Mercedes, and it's the Mercedes that leads the way on the medium compound. Alistair Bain in second, followed by Jess, then Daniel. CJH going to try and make a move if he can on Daniel P. Wheelnut here. They're side by side, are the Ferrari and the Racing Bulls. This is critical corners in terms of the constructors, and CJ gets ahead. CJH up into fourth, that means Daniel drops to fifth and Scottish Goat down into sixth place. But these are critical for the Ferrari. They know that Chris Johnson is down in 13th place. They need to win the Constructors. That's all they've got left this season, other than being the runner-up in 7th in the Drivers' Championship. The Ferraris can do it, but they need a solid result like 5th and 6th. With CJ down in 4th, they have an opportunity here to win the Constructors this season. They just need to hang on to the top 4 and don't lose them. Darky gets away well. Jess, there's a massive carbon fibre off in the background. I think that's Kaya, who got a fantastic start into 10th. He's dropped to 11th. Hopefully that isn't damage on that Mercedes, especially with double points being scored tonight for him. James right on the back now of Acorn, the DB2 champion, defending that position as best he can. But James up the inside, goes very deep, but he keeps the place. Fantastic driving from James, but it might allow Deck to come back at him because the corner was so tight for the McLaren as we begin the second lap already. What a fantastic first lap, and what a move from James. That might be overtaking the season. I think Jake's looking for a move now on Tony. Not quite able to do what his teammate was able to do, but he's going to try and keep the car there. But there's just not enough road, and I think CJ now is the one looking to make a move on Jess. This is for the final step on the podium, and there's not enough room around turn 5 to make that move. So Darky hangs on from Alistair, Jess, CJ, Daniel P. Whelan at your top 5 remain, and Kaya's in the wall. Big damage on that Mercedes. If there wasn't damage the first time, there certainly is the second time. He needs to box for hards and go to the end and just hope that there's chaos now with double points being scored. And of course, with 15 drivers tonight, there's the potential to come 15th, and that double points mean nothing because the top 14 are all that scored points. That's a mistake from Darky. That might allow Alistair to launch an attack here. The Ferraris have swapped places. Scottish Goat is ahead of his teammate Daniel, but the Ferraris won't care who's ahead of the two. They just need the best result they can get tonight. Alistair now moves to the left-hand side, and this should be a new race leader. It is, and it might allow Jess to creep down the inside as well. She had a look, but not enough to make the move. The Ferraris battling away, costing each other time. And in my opinion, they're now 2 seconds adrift, battling each other, and they're putting themselves under pressure from Jordan. Tony and Acorn battling away. Looks like Tony's got the better of Acorn, and he might get the better of James here. Tony flying through the places at the moment, and this could be P8 for the Williams. It wasn't a great call. Oh, but they're both in the wall, and they're both out of the session. Not really sure who's at fault for that one. And maybe no one at fault. Just a bit of kind of no really room. The cars can't follow each other around that place. Darky is spun. Darky's in the wall. He's dropped. CJH moved on Jess, so he made up P3, and then Darky went straight on, I think. Has he got no wing? Yeah, he's got no wing. Darky just needs to keep focused now, get to the pits, get a new wing on that Mercedes. Hopefully doesn't retire. Oh, and he's put the Haas into the wall of waste. Not sure what Darky was doing there. But now this is the true battle that we want to see. The battle we've not seen this season happen. Obviously CJ's qualifyings last week put him in a predicament that was kind of vulnerability, which he's doing now because Jess is coming back at him. And the Ferraris are going to swap places again in the background of your picture. Daniel ahead of Scottish Goat. Jess into P2. Chris Johnson in your background as well. Up into 7th. So Chris had a bad start, but he's finding his feet and he's up into 7th now. And that helps Racing Bulls in their hopes of the Constructors' Championship. But this is the battle we want to see. We want to see Jace and we want to see CJ battle Alistair. Can they launch an attack on Alistair Bain? They're all on the same tyres. Alistair has some good pace, 1.5 ahead now. but we want to see him have a challenge. We don't want to see him running away with the races last week like he did. Lewis Craig did have the challenge but ran out of gas. And Jess isn't losing touch of Alistair. The gap's maintained. She's actually closed it in by around a tenth in that first sector. And CJ and Jess now, they just need to help each other out. Don't cost each other time through this part. And just overtake each other under DRS. As Alistair gets so close to the wall there. And he just extends his gap through that second sector, Alistair. Must have a bit more downforce on the Haas. Oh, and Jess goes really wide. She has a big tank slapper. And that allows CJ fairly easily to get back ahead. And they drop to 2.3 seconds behind Alistair. Scottish Goat now, this is the battle we've been talking about all season. Obviously, Daniel in 4th in the championship. The Scottish Goat in 7th. But they just seem to be battling each other all the time on the track. And maybe that is why the Ferraris have chosen that they'll only keep one of the two. And Jordan is right on the back of this fight now. And Daniel could be vulnerable. As Daniel calling it early. He is the driver that likes to pit early, go on to the hards to the end. And it's worked and it's not worked throughout the season. And Jess did get back past CJH now. And that gap to Alistair's 3 seconds. And I don't really think that's down to Alistair's pace. I think that was more Jess's moment meant CJ had to slow down. But there's getting caught by Scottish Goat. They're getting caught by Jordan. And then we'll keep an eye on Daniel. Has it? Yeah, he's got plenty. He's got 10 seconds worth of clean air to get those hards up to temperature, get the Ferrari running. And if drivers don't box early here to cover him off, Daniel could be on for a momentous undercut and then possibly jump the likes of Jess and CJH. But the battle will commence for the 5th time. Jess will obviously want a better exit on the corner, and she does. She's actually had a great exit because that's putting CJ under good pressure from Scottish Goat, but the straight line speed of that Racing Bulls is there to see. The Ferrari struggling to close the gap, but I think that's down to the ERS deployment. I think Scottish Goat has used a lot to kind of maintain that gap and stay close to his teammate. And then Jordan will be one in 5th place. Got plenty of battery, not using it now. Just waiting to strike when the iron's hot. And these 4 are starting to close in on Alistair now. Not by much, but Alistair might be in a sort of tyre saving phase. He knows Daniel, who stopped early, probably won't jump him. And it might just be a case of go as long as I can until the softs and then steal that fastest lap if he doesn't already have it. I'm on the wrong one. He's got it already. Very quick driver, Alistair. Obviously, season 3 champion for a reason. Battling the likes of Damien Greenbean, Lewis Craig, Henners, and Hambo, of course. Only driver that could really lay a glove on Hambo. He did the league proud and he picked up the win on the finale at Abu Dhabi. Obviously 12 race season back then, so to get it done was fantastic. Didn't have a great season 4, missed season 5, back for the final few races of season 6. This is your season 6 champion, CJH 87, now closing in on Jessica Ball, and that is P2 for the Racing Bulls driver. And now it is a battle of the pit stops. Who is going to come in quick and first? Who's going to get serviced the quickest by their mechanics? CJH in. Scottish Goat in as well. We'll watch CJH. He'll be the pit stop we watch tonight. Let's see how good the Racing Bulls mechanics are. Off are the mediums, on go the softs. Beautiful, as you like. Scottish Goat does the same. Acorn will also do the same. Daniel Piwilna out ahead of Scottish Goat, not ahead of CJ though. Interesting, I thought he might be a lot closer. It is 1.3. And then with CJ's tyres on the softs, you'd imagine Daniel might struggle here to keep up. And his teammate might get past. And in terms of the constructors, you'd probably want to let your teammate pass. But is Daniel thinking about that? Does he care about winning the constructors? He could be, of course, tonight, runner-up in the World Championship. And that could be 2 runners-up in a row. He was a Season 5 runner-up, and he could be the Season 6 runner-up. And not really fighting his teammate. Didn't make it too easy for him. But didn't make it too difficult either. And he's in a great position here to retake the position. He's not using the overtake on his teammate. So it isn't closing in too much. I think he knows where their battle is in terms of the Racing Bulls. He only needs to finish with his teammate here. Let his teammate drag him along, drag each other along. And they'll have a fantastic opportunity to win. Chris Johnson in now. That is the second of the stops for the Racing Bulls. Chris now obviously picked up 5 podiums in his dive bomb career. Looking to hang on to his top 10 finish for the second season running. He was obviously in the championship fight in the finale last season. Was unlikely that he'd pick up the win, but he was still mathematically in with a chance. Oh, and CJ's disconnected. There's invites in the group, so CJ should be able to rejoin. And that is great for the Ferraris. They need to pounce here. Chris Johnson in 8th. This is the moment for the Constructors' Championship. And well, Lewis Craig will be gutted if he was here tonight in hopes of a championship win. He only needed to outscore CJH by 11 points on the night, and a disconnection is exactly what he would have been asking for. That is 1 Ferrari past now in Scottish Goat, surely. The AI should only be on 40 if Baz has done it properly, which he should do. Baz is usually good. CJH is back in the session. Has he taken control of the vehicle, though? Oh, he won't before Daniel gets past, and Jess, and maybe Jordan here. Oh, disaster for CJH. Can he get back in? Alistair Bain in the pit. Oh, Alistair might get jumped here. He's exiting the pits. He's been in the pits for a long time. Yep, Alistair safe. He's going to win this Grand Prix barring any accidents. Great drive from Alistair. Well, CJ's in the pits. Oh, the game's pit him. Oh, disaster. Racing Bulls Constructors' Championship hopes are falling away. 44 points was the gap before the race. And it's a nightmare for them. And I think CJH is back in the car now. But it stopped him twice. On a night where he might have had a battle with Lewis. And they say things happen for a reason. Lewis not here tonight. The disconnection, 2 pit stops, 1 out of his control. This would have put the pressure fairly on CJ going into the Hungary Grand Prix, the Hungaro Ring race, in about 20 minutes. You'd expect Lewis to do well around Vegas. He always does. It could have been ball in Alpine Court if Lewis was here. Jess Games ahead of Daniel now. Chris Johnson in 6th. Under pressure from Acorn. The Racing Bulls in 9th, 7 seconds. Big asking 3.5 laps. This is it for Scottish Goat though. This is it. Ferrari want to win the Constructors. You've got an opportunity to win that Ferrari seat as Acorn gets past Chris. Daniel's leaving the team. You've got a chance. This is your chance to claim the #1 seat next season at Ferrari. Go and win your team, the Constructors, or give them an opportunity around Hungary to win the Constructors. Daniel is doing the best he can on those hards to fend off Jordan. They've got a big task on their hands. The Manxman and the Scotsman. Hold on from Jess, hold on from Jordan. And Jordan goes deep. He's getting desperate, Jordan. He wants an opportunity. He wants to stay second. He wants to be the runner-up, or he wants to stay in third. He doesn't want to drop any further than third in the championship. And he'll drop to fourth if Jordan stays ahead of him here. Oh, and Alistair Bain's disconnected. The race leader with 2.5 laps to go is out of the session. What is going on with the connection in the Dive Bomb Sports Racing League? Alistair Bain, I'm pretty sure, is in the chat. He should be able to rejoin. If he can't, he needs to message me quickly and we'll get him back in. But I'm pretty sure he is in the race in group chat. Jordan now ahead of Daniel. And Daniel loses a position now, but it might not matter. Jess, Scottish Scope, they're fighting for possibly their first ever win. We have got 3 to go in Vegas. It is Scottish Scope, it is Jess Games. Potentially, if Alistair Bain can't get back in for the win here. They've gained a second on Alistair. Alistair's still not back in the car. The Ferrari, it looked like a P3. It looks like it's going to be a P2. It could be a win. Jess as well, never won in Dive Bomb. She's got an opportunity here. Obviously won 2 TGB1 races, TGB2 races, sorry. That was broadcasted on the Dive Bomb channel. TGB2 champion, she's got the experience. She's got the wise head. Oh, they're so going to close on Alistair. If Alistair can't get back in the car, he's done for. And maybe the game will pit him also. She's dropping back. Jess has definitely got no downforce on the car. She was struggling with Alistair as well through the second sector. And yes, you can just see the time she gains on the quick parts of the lap. 5 tenths now. We're on board with the Red Bull. And with every moment, we get closer to the end of this race. And we get closer to either Jess or Scottish Goat picking up their first win. And Jess now takes the lead. Well, it is in P2, sorry, of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Scottish Goat. Oh, if you're ever going to win a race, this is it. Do not use all of that battery. Save the battery. J.O. Mac 10. Save the battery. Jordan is so close as well. Jordan on Scottish Goat into turn 1. No, Alistair drops now. Scottish Goat and Jordan will get past. Daniel's dropped a fair distance on the hards, but you imagine he'll get past Alistair as well. Alistair will just be happy the car's not boxed. Jess in the lead, 6 tenths of a second to J.O. Mac, 3 tenths to Jordan. Alistair's dropped to 4th. You'll imagine that'll be 5th, and potentially, I don't think Chris will drop, as Chris and actually Acorn and Jake are having a wee battle of their own for 6th place. Oh, this is it for J.O. Mac. Save that battery, J.O. Save, save, save. The two around you have so much battery compared to you. Save the battery as much as you can. Scottish Goat. Jordan clips the ball. He's going to drop J.O. Mac behind him, it looks like. Jess is pulling away, almost out of DRS. I think this is it. Lap 13, we're about to begin. Is Alistair? Alistair's still not in the car. Disaster for him. Jess now. Just over 3 miles for the Red Bull. She's not won a race all season. And yes, things may have came her way, but it's better to be lucky than good. And Jess Games is certainly good. And the luck has finally fallen her way. She's out of the DRS of J.O. Mac. Will that put him in clutching? Oh, he's managed to gain it back. One opportunity now for J.O. Mac and Jordan to win this race. Wace has clipped the wall and is out. It is lap 13 of 13. We have had 3 races around Las Vegas, and not a single one has been dull. And with just under half the racetrack to go, we're unsure who's going to pick up the win here. Jordan gets ahead of Jo now. Manages to hang on. And it's a sprint to the finish. Jo Mark will get back past Jordan. But can he get past Jess, or will it be Jess picking up the win? They're battling away, are Jordan and Scottish Goat. They're so close together, but it looks like Jordan's going to do it. They're closing the distance to Jessica Ball. And what a Grand Prix it's been. Disconnections and battles all the way through, but the miss is consistent. Jessica Ball wins in Vegas, followed by Jordan. Scottish Goat gets on the podium with Daniel in 4th. Alistair manages 5th. Chris Johnson, can he hang on to 6th place? The DB2 champion Acorn is doing everything he can to stop that from happening, but he does. And Jake comes home in 7th. Acorn in 8th. CJH in 9th. Not his fault though. Baza will come home in 10th. And 11 seconds down the road, Kaya. 4 points, double that to 8. Not in a horrendous for his risk race, because then he started 15th and had the damage. Fair play to him. Darky will eventually cross the line in 12th place. And the last of the finishers. Waste obviously clipped the ball in the final laps, causing him to disconnect. And it feels like forever ago when Tony and James came together around turn 1. And Darky will end that there. And he got the fastest lap at the end, stealing the point away from Jess. But she picks up her first win in Dive Bomb. Absolutely crazy. CJ disconnection. Alistair disconnection. Lewis Craig would have been in fine place to put himself in first in the Drivers' Championship. That's if he didn't disconnect Mr. Disconnect. But it's all about Miss Consistent. Jessica Ball wins in Las Vegas. It only took her 19 goals, but she finally gets on that top step. Scottish Goat did a fantastic job in third. Jordan managed to pick up second. A great drive from Jordan after having a pretty poor qualifying. Probably Jordan's worst qualifying in the season. Might not be his worst position in quali, but he would have been disappointed. We already ran through your grid as well, so we'll not do it again. Well, I'm going to take a breather because that was absolutely crazy. We have got the Hungaroring coming up in about 2 minutes' time. One shot quali, 35% race. And well, we've had 2 races there before in the past. Jordan, obviously a race winner last season there. And Hambo in season 3. Who's going to win in Hungaroring? Leave it in the chat. And we'll see you in a few moments. So we're back for the Hungarian Grand Prix. This is the last race of the season. 20 races we've had, and it is all coming to an end tonight here around the Hungaroring. Monaco without the walls. Who will take the last pole? Who will take the last win? And who will be the shock surprise? With every final race, we seem to have someone on the podium that usually isn't on the podium. We'll wait and find out. We're watching Jordan, the last race winner of the Hungarian Grand Prix in dive bomb, as he comes down the hill into turns 3 and hopefully 4. He gets through them nicely, doesn't invalidate. Up the hill now he goes to the blind turn 5. Trust the car will turn, and Jordan does so nicely. Only on for a 4th row grid stop though. Jordan now brake as late as you possibly can. Try and avoid the curb on the right. Use the curb on the left. Use the curb on the right here as well, through the swooping left-hander. Swing the car through this second sector. It's such a wonderful part of the road. When you get it all slinged up nicely, it feels beautiful. Down the wee kink on the hill now. Brake at the 50, swooping right again, using all of these curbs to your advantage. Now avoiding the left-hand curb here, or you'll be spun round where Max did back in 2022 or 23, where he picked up the win even after spinning Jordan around the final corner. Looks like Darky going to take another pole, and he does, by over 6/10 of a second to Jess. Darky extending that pole streak. It's now 13 poles. Jordan only managed 7th. Casper putting in the chat, see you next season. Well, if obviously Casper is guaranteed a seat, hopefully we can get quicker drivers in the league. We don't want him to have to not race because there's no one else quick enough to join. But it's Darky on pole with Jessica in 2nd, CGH 3rd with Alistair Bay in 4th, Wace and Acorn 5th and 6th, Jordan and Scottish Goat 7th and 8th, Jake 9th, Bazza rounds out the top 10, James 11th, Tony 12th, Chris Johnson rounds out the runners that set a time, and it's Dark Shadow Kaya in 14th. Daniel was disqualified in 15th. Impacts the constructors. So we had a 44-point gap in the constructors in favour of Racing Bulls. We add CGH he scored 6 points, and then Chris scored, he was 6th in the race, which is 9. So they have a 59-point advantage. You take away the 15 and the 10. And what do we have? It is 34 points between the constructors in this race. So Ferrari need a massive race. Daniel Pibiona starting at the back in 15th. Big hill to climb. Probably need one of the guys to win the race. It looks like the constructors is going the way of Racing Bulls, and this would be the first time ever in dive bomb history that the Constructors Champions team have been the same as the World Drivers Champion. We've never had that before. Even in Season 1, Eric, it was Racing Point that won the Constructors. Matter won in Season 2, Red Bull won the Constructors. Season 3, AlphaTauri, and then Alistair at Red Bull. Season 4 did happen because me and Damien Green Beam won the Constructors, and Green Beam won the Drivers' Championship. So it'll only be the second time it's happened in the history of the league. So me and Green Beam will be pretty disappointed if that comes to fruition. Kind of only record I'm holding in Dive Bomb are the only World Constructors Champions, and the same as the Drivers' Champion, but all good things must come to an end, and that is what Season 6 is. What a great season we've had. We've been here for 9 of the 10 weeks. Obviously, I had to race in one of the weeks, just a bit of lack of attendance in one of the races, but it's all down to this. It's round 20. And we're underway for the Hungarian Grand Prix. It is Darky and Jess off the line. Looks like Jess has jumped him as well. Coming down the hill now into turn 1. CGH going to try make the move. Had to yield. The two Haas's in the background as well as Wace, and CJ tapping wheels, and it looks like CJ manages to hold off the Season 5 champion, the two champions on the F125 game. Season 5 champion versus Season 6 champion. Alistair Bain in 5th at the moment as well. Acorn in 6th with Tony in 7th. Kaya all the way up in 8th place. What a start from Kaya. Baza 9th. Daniel P. Whelan at 10th. Jake and James doing well in 11th and 12th. Jordan's dropped down the order. Scottish Goat and Chris Johnson have dropped down massively as well. And Jordan. So there must have been contact at turn 1. Doesn't look like anyone's got damage. But with 25 laps, Baza's passed Kaya for P8. We'll get the tyres up. Baza, Jake and Chris on the hards. Daniel P. Wheelnut on the softs. Everyone else on the mediums. So it will be a medium to hard. Soft to hard will be difficult. You're probably 2-stopping on the softs, which would be a lot slower. As you can see on the bottom of your screen there, yeah, you're probably 2-stopping. But Waste now on the back of CJH. We've not seen these two battle this season. Waste has had a fairly poor season. Only 107 points to his name before the Hungarian Grand Prix here. Obviously, Juan at Kota in round 1, looking to go down the inside. There's a bit of contact. And he's wanting to prove that he's still got it. Obviously, did win a race this season. Wants to win more. Not been here as much as he'd like as well. But then we'll always have the trophy to go off. CJ already almost a second behind Darky, who's right up on the engine cover of that Red Bull Jess. But a very difficult track to overtake. Only really 2 spots, turn 1 and turn 3, where you have that DRS, unless the driver ahead makes a mistake. And going to be difficult, and Jess in prime position here. Got the good launch and doing the business now. Jake looking to be the next driver to make a move on Kaya. Kaya had a good start, but seems to be dropping down the order now that others have found their feet. Had an impressive season though, Kaya, as Jordan now looking to go down the inside of him as well. Forced him off a little bit. That might allow James to pounce around the outside. It does, and Kaya's round, unfortunately. CJ now, yeah, he's dropped below a second. Alistair and Waste battling away. Looks like Alistair gets past. Looked like a bit of a swipe from Waste, hopefully not. And Jordan now past Jake as well. Into turn 1, they go down the hill. Jake might be able to come back at him, but without that help of DRS that Jordan does, unable to do so. Baza on the hards, in a good place here in 8th. 3.4 behind Tony. Can he close that gap any to allow those tyres to run? And maybe that's a good thing, having that space ahead. Clean air, allow those tyres to go long in this Grand Prix and maybe extend the stint and get on the softs. Valuable data for Red Bull in terms of Daniel P. Wheelnut on the softs. Around Hungary though, you'd imagine he'd need to go to about 18, 19 in this race, Baza. But with the clean air, we'll be allowed to extend the stint to potentially allow the mediums to do less laps and have more grip compared to everyone else. Now Waste has gotten passed by Alistair. He's now dropping and falling into the clutches of Acorn. Both 2-time race winners in Dive Bomb. One has the Dive Bomb 2 championship winner, and one is the Dive Bomb 1 championship winner. Darky passing Jess for the lead there, we missed it. And Acorn passing Waste as well. Can Jess get back past for the lead? Not able to do so. Acorn's dropped down 1 place. He's dropped a few. I think he's had some contact with Waste there. CGH and Alistair starting to claw back in now. And this is where it's good to see Alistair's what he's made of. We know what he can do when he has the clean air. Like the McLarens in real life. We know that pace he's got. We've only really seen him battle Lewis since his return. And well, this is it now. Now he's not in the lead. He's not in that clean air. He's behind sort of the fastest drivers that we have outside of Alistair and Lewis. What is he made of? Can he get past? Can he go win the race? Plenty of laps to go. Not time to be doing anything daft. But this is now the chance to see what he is truly made of, and he's closing that gap on CJH. Potentially looking for a seat in Season 7 and hoping to become the only 2-time champion. Not able to make the move there. And these top four, all within a second of one another, covered by less than 2 seconds. Interesting race here in Hungary, and this is why it was picked as the final race. Well, technically it was picked as the final race because of ChatGPT. That picked the calendar this season, but except Kota, obviously Kota, we went back to the traditional opening round of dive bomb. It's always been Kota that started the season when we do it the traditional style. We do love a Kota opening race. Get out of the way nice and early. Waste liked it, he picked up the win. Baza now closing in on Tony. He's got about 4 attempts on him this lap. Jordan closing as well. But Jordan on much quicker rubber. And his tyres will be degrading though as the laps go on compared to Baza's. And now, here we go. The top 4 again. Can Jess use the DRS to get past? Closing and closing and closing. Not enough. Not enough for anyone. Just a wee bit of a DRS stream starting to form. And it's kind of making it hard to overtake. Darky doing a good job though. He got past on the lap 1 and then he got past Jess again on lap 3. And since then it's not looked like Jess was going to be able to come back at him. And if anything, CJ looks like the one that's going to be doing the attacking. Or Alistair. They're right now on the back of Jess. And are looking to try and make a move. The Ferraris down in 12th and 15th. Their constructors, after the good Las Vegas, slipped away from them. It was a good fight from him. Oh, CJ's gone wide. Does that allow Alistair an opportunity? Not yet. But as I was saying, yeah, their Constructors' Championship slipped away from them. It's not going to happen this season. They've been fantastic, and it's just rather unfortunate, sadly. But we'll have to see. Will they be teammates one time in the future, maybe? Alistair gets close, and then that DRS of Jess just saves CJ from having to battle Alistair. Alistair, oh, you can just see the understeer caused by the turbulent air. And this is the question we had through the week. If Alistair's not in the lead like he was at Vegas, stretches out that lap, is he able to pass? It's a very difficult track to pass, and when there's a DRS train formed, even harder. And he might just need to bide his time and maybe time his pit stop to do that undercut. He's not in any danger of his teammate behind. His teammate could probably stop on the same lap as him right now. But it's all about timing. The mediums, if you're going to go to the hards, you probably want to go to lap 10 to 12. CJ takes a bit of a tighter line compared to his rivals around that final corner. Is that what's allowing him to stay ahead of Alistair? It looks like it, or there's just too much drag on that Haas. He just can't get close enough. And that was about 4 tenths of a second, so you think he needs to be within 2 tenths around that final corner. Very difficult to judge. It looks like Baza is under pressure from Jordan now. Jordan making good use of the rubber he's got after the bad start. And then Baza in a different strategy at the moment. We know Baza likes to fight, but probably not going to fight this one too hard. He's going to think about the tyres and where he's going to put himself in this race. And on the slower compound at this stage, going long, it's battling away is going to cost you time that you don't necessarily have or want to have to gain back. And I think Waste has had enough. Yep, that's put Tony into 5th. Obviously, potential for safety cars here. This is it, though. Alistair round the final corner, 2 tenths now. That is the gap we said that he needed to get ahead, and it's still not enough. It's still not enough for Alistair. That TRS is insanely powerful for CJ, and Alistair, just the dirty air doesn't allow him to go down the hill and make the move. Wow. Incredibly frustrating for the Scotsman, you can imagine, just to be stuck in 4th, and he's doing nothing wrong, really. He did what we thought he needed to do. 2 tenths of a second round of final corner, and it still wasn't enough. Either the DRS in the DRS train is so powerful, or he just can't make the move because he's got too much drag on the Haas. His setup not good enough, and struggled in qualifying as well compared to his usual standards. Which is crazy to think if someone asked if he qualified 4th, is that good, and you say no. Oh, is that Jess Games in the pits? Yes, it is. And CJ followed. Alistair stayed out. Darky now having to watch for that undercut. So, off go the mediums, on go the hards. CJH the same, doesn't get out ahead of Jess. So they're going with what I predicted, lap 10, come in, fresh set of hards to the end. Now obviously if there's a safety car, this would totally ruin Jess and CJ's race. And I tell you who it would help Tony and Baza and Jake. If you can get the mediums now, 2 laps under the safety car free, get you to lap 23. Could you get them 12 laps? They'd be dying at the end. Think you need that safety car to come out in about 2 laps. Then it box, come back into the pits around lap 14, 15. It's kind of what you're aiming for. Darky and Alistair continue. Tony, next up, comes in. Basil will stay out, of course. Jordan stays out because his teammates ahead in pits. But Jake will obviously not come in. James. Will he do the opposite to his teammate? Yes, he's in. Daniel's on the hard. He's boxed. Wasted, and everyone else has boxed. CJ's got him past Jess. Round turn 1. Using the DRS to the advantage. There you go. The DRS, when you don't have the DRS yourself, makes you vulnerable. And they're on the back of Jake now, who's 10 laps on those hards, not in their race. If he wants a good result here, needs to kind of just let this battle go. Obviously, you need to find the right place to do that. And I think Jess has picked up damage there from CJ going into the back of Jake. I don't think CJ expected Jake to stop that early, and that's put Jess under pressure. CJ goes, what? Yeah, there's damage on that Red Bull. Not any visible damage to the McLaren or the Racing Bull. And just so frustrating when that happens, when it doesn't look like the McLaren or the Racing Bull have any damage, but the Red Bull, that was just kind of a passenger, picks up the damage there. So frustrating for Jess, especially around Hungary. The top 4 stay out again. CJ now into 5th. Jake doesn't battle Jess too hard. That puts her up a place. And she'll really struggle now to hang on to CJ. If she can do it, it'll be fantastic. But you're just think that the car will be so difficult to drive. Just so unfortunate for Jess Games, sadly, here in Budapest. Alistair Bain leading the way from Darky. 11 lap old mediums. It is now the time to come into the pits. You can't really run the risk of the safety. Oh, CJ's got a penalty now as well. 3 seconds. Top 2 in. Where are they going to come out in comparison to CJ and Jess? Obviously Jake helping the top 2 out in Feedy, holding them up a wee bit on the previous lap. Off go. The mediums on go the hards for both. We'll watch Alistair's. He'll be out the pit lane first. And it looks like the three are going to jump them. Yep, so CJ comes out ahead in the net lead. And it's Jess Ball in second. Obviously has the time penalty CJH. And has the Red Bull out in front. It looks like Baza fighting away there, but CJ just had enough road to make it stick. And then you'd imagine Baza is going to move out of his teammate's way pretty quickly when she comes up to him. Not moving the way as fast as I thought he would. Maybe just thinking he has a penalty, you're going to catch up to him. Alistair Bain and company behind as well. I don't want to lose any time in terms of my strategy. Baz obviously battling for second in the Dive Bomb 2 Championship, so he's got stuff to play for here. And it just seems like tonight has flown by so quickly. And this season also. And they're 3 wide. It looks like Jess is going to get Baza potentially 4 wide here for the lead of the race. Who's going to come out on top? It looks like it's going to be Darky as CJ, second place because CJ's peeled away. Darky managed to win the battle of the 4-way fight. Jess in third. Alistair should get past Baza, but Baza's going to fight it. But he's not got enough grip. He'll try the switchback. But there's just not enough grip on those hards that have been on since the beginning. Baza did fantastic there though. The whole lap, he was just keeping the drivers behind on their toes. And with 13 lap old hards for both Baz and Jake, you imagine they'll be in soon. And I know we're watching a lot of this battle, but there just doesn't seem to be many battles forming elsewhere. Now Alistair had trouble passing CJH. Will he have trouble passing Jess? 4 attempts. DRS open. Darky sets the fastest lap. No danger from Alistair. It was difficult against CJ, but no DRS for Jess. Just allowed her to sail past Baza into the pits. What tyre is it? It is mediums to the end now for Baza. Good stint from Baza. Was in 5th, 14 laps on that compound. Good shift in race 85. Alistair now has to go chase down Darky. Darky, 6 Grand Prix wins to his name, Darky. All 6 have come from pole. He started on pole this race. He's closing in on CJ. And if Alistair can't get a move on, 1.5 behind with just under 10 laps to go, he's in danger here of not winning again. Gaps starting to form throughout the field. It's kind of Darky and CJ. And then Jordan and Daniel P. wheeling that. Oh, and Alistair's disconnected again. No, what is happening with Alistair's connection? There are definitely some issues. Darky now for the lead on the road. CGH fights it. And Darky can't get past. He wants to win on the road, Darky. He wants it for pride. He doesn't want to win it by a pen. Up the hill we go now. Jordan managed to get past Daniel. Jess is closing up to Alistair now, who of course has disconnected for the second race running. It's just, you feel so bad for him. He's not in a title fight or anything, but you just feel so bad for him having that sort of luck. He was on for a race win, and he was on for 100% a podium. It's just been stripped away from the returning DBF1 driver. Darky and CJ are battling away into turn 1. Darky needs to remember they're 5 seconds ahead of Jess, and he has a penalty. You do not need to do anything stupid and cost yourself an opportunity here at the race win, Darky. Keep going to the end. Pick up that 7th win. Daniel Pibiona has stopped for his second pit stop, which we expected after that sort of strategy call he made. Darky and Acorn and Jake are battling away, and it looks like Jake has won that battle. This is the only battle really on the road. James is close to Daniel, but that's because Daniel just stopped. Wace is close to Tony, 6.5 times. Here we go though, Darky into turn 1, had a look down the inside, not quite able to make it stick. He'll go down the hill, and I know there's 8 laps to go here, but you just really need to get to the end without picking up a penalty here, Darky. Don't go for any silly moves up the hill into the blind left-hander. And yeah, that's well done from Darky not to do it, and he's close. 2 attempts ago, you can tell he's got the pace. He feels it clicking around the Hungaro ring. There's just a CJH in the way. That's all there is. But with the time penalty, it'll make it no wins in 4, possibly 5 for CJH. We'll have a look. He obviously won the title this week. He is the champion of Season 6. Congratulations to CJ. But let's have a quick look at when he last picked up a win. Brazil. Yeah, so there'll be no wins in 4 if he doesn't win this race. As Darky now goes round the outside, locks up, and they make contact. No harm done though. They're 7 seconds ahead of Jess. And then there was no real kind of crazy incident. It was just a bit of banging of wheels, and there'll be no reporting that later on with CJ being the champion. Tony and Wace battling away. Tony's lost. Oh yeah, Wace has got a 10-second time limit for severe collision with Tony, so unsure what's happened there. Alistair not back in. I think he might have just given up on trying to get back in. Starting to get close to the closing stages of this Grand Prix. We're about to be a fourth of the way through this 5-segment race. DRS deployed. He's closing that gap down ever so slightly, but it's not enough. Darky, of course, was part of the 24 minutes of Daytona Grand Prix in the Group GT3 class on Sunday. Didn't have a bad result, as Jordan and Waste battling away. Jordan wins the better of that. Alistair, he was the winner of the GT3 race, 24 minutes of Daytona. He'll be looking to repeat that in 24 minutes of Spa-Francorchamps coming up soon. Couple of Fridays away, hopefully more appearing. Obviously, DBF1 driver and DBGT driver Ian Griffiths was part of the Daytona race as well. Gamer James was there too. Alistair Bain dropping down the order, but nothing significant really. Not back in. His car's having a bit of a moment though. Oh no, he's back now. Just trying to get control of the car. Disappointing for Alistair, not his fault though. Here we go though, the 20th time it feels like. Lap 21 begins. 5 laps of racing to go in Hungary. And Darky just can't hate at the moment. But it doesn't matter at the moment because of the penalty. It will matter if Darky picks up a penalty though. Keep it on the island, stay within 3 seconds, and you are a 7-time race winner. 7 wins from 13 poles it'll be. He's currently 6 wins from 12 poles. So every second pole position is a race win. And Emily didn't win his last pole position race, so he's due a win for this pole. And it's just so frustrating with someone like Darky. You know he's got that ability in his locker to win races, to get pole position. He's actually, if he wins this race, I think he's tied second all time for race wins. He'll either be moving to third or be tied second. Yeah, I think he's third. I think Alistair's got 7. I'll put him on 7 as Alistair gets past his teammate. Lewis is on 8 wins. So he'll move up into tied third, and then he's most poles of all time, of course, with 13. Just that sort of consistency's not there, though, to win a championship. He could win the championship next year. Obviously, Casper could be in the league. We know he's at McLaren. If the driving sort of ability of pace picks up, if we have quicker drivers joining the league next year, Casper will be in. Obviously, if it stays the same as it is, Casper probably will have to drop out. We don't want the league to be dominated by 20 seconds every week. So if you rule Casper out, Darky on pace could win a title, but it's just polishing the game, polishing the racecraft. It's just all he requires to win. The natural ability is there. It's the discipline that he lacks. Oh, talking about discipline, CJ has had a spin. And that wasn't Darky, that was just spinning on the curb. A lapse in concentration from the world champion. And well, he's deserved a bit of lapse in concentration. We'll let him off with that one. He's had a fantastic season. He's done everything right. And when his name's been called, he stepped up to the plate, especially around Interlagos and Monza. Questions were asked, and he had all the answers this season. And well, you'll be disappointed not to pick up the win here in Hungary, but it won't matter. The trophy's coming back to him anyway. And if Lewis was here, it might have been a different story, or it may have been the same story. He might have still won. But all that matters to him is that when this race ends, he will be the champion. And that'll be 6 in 6 seasons. We've never had a repeat champion. Daniel P. Wheelnut battling away with Acorn. Daniel picks up P9, but it's not enough. The point and 18 points from Chris and CJH is enough to secure the constructors for Racing Bulls. It'll be the second time in their history in Dive Bomb they win the constructors. Only team to ever win it twice. Jake with a pen, not going to matter though in terms of Daniel, who's 6.3 behind with 2 laps to go. And well, we've had some problems with attendance. We've had 12 drivers, we've had 18 drivers, we've had 16 drivers, 15 has sort of been the number we've had all season for majority of races. Hope more drivers come for next season. Hopefully get a few returning drivers for next season. But it's been wonderful to have everyone as the race sort of boils down now. Baz at 6 tenths back. He's had a good race. Did that hard work in stint 1 to be rewarded in stint 2. And he's going to get waste no matter what. But how rewarding would it be if he can steal the position on the road? Baza would love that against his fellow Welshman. Obviously, not going to be part of the Red Bull programme next season. That will be Acorn's seat, the Dive Bomb 2 champion moving to Red Bull. So Baza will have to find a new home. There has been rumours in the paddock though that there is a return looming to his team that signed him in Season 1, Haas. Whether or not it's true, the rumours have any truth to them, we'll have to wait and see. But you know what you get with Baza. A race win and Dive Bomb, a couple of podiums. He'll be on the grid next season. He'll reach 100 races and he'll be close to the top 10 as per usual. Just can't quite get close enough here to make the move. Alistair is close to Jordan. No, he moves to the right hand side and gets back up into the top 4. And Jordan didn't fight that too much, knowing Alistair's ability. And then with that sort of rubber, just leaving it there. And Baza does get past Waste now. We just got the end of it. Up into 6th place. Great drive around the Hungaroring from Baza. Very did all that hard work, as I mentioned earlier, on that hard compound. Stretched them 15 laps and was rewarded for doing so. But it's been this man. He's been there about all race. And with CJ's penalty, he kind of made sure he was going to win. The moment didn't help CJ's case. 13 pole positions, 7 race wins. He doesn't win if he's not on pole. He was on pole in Hungary, but he wins the Grand Prix, does Darky. CJH will take another P2 this season, and he is the Drivers' World Champion in Season 6. Congratulations to CJH. Mrs. P3 comes home in P3 and Jessica Ball. Alistair will hang on to 4th. Jordan 5th. A great drive from Baza. It's 21 seconds back on Jordan. But it was a fantastic drive. And it was well deserved. It was best of the rest for Baza. And he'll be sweating this one, but he'll be so happy with that. Acorn around the final corner will get Daniel P. Wheelnut, but I think Daniel's disconnected. Wace is disconnected as well. There's been so many disconnections. I think Jake is disconnected as well. We'll wait and see what the order was there. We'll run through it at the end. I think there's a few disconnections or maybe a few rage quits. But CJH is a Drivers' Champion. Season 6. The final time on 2025. CJH. But Darky picked up the win in Hungary. 2 wins this season for him. But that man on the left, CJH87, Drivers World Champion. Congratulations to him. Been a fantastic season. Fantastic to commentate on for CJ. And to pick up his first Drivers' Championship in Dive Bomb. Is there more to come? You'll have to tune in 2026. January 7th, we get going again. Can CJ be the first ever to defend the crown? You'll just have to find out. At the end of the night, Darky won with the Drivers' Champion CJ in second. Jess came third. Alistair fourth. Jordan fifth with Baz as sixth. Acorn did come home in seventh with Daniel in eighth. Chris Johnson ninth. Tony 10th. Gamer James 11th. Scottish Goat 12th. Jake 13th. Waste 14th. And Kaya in 15th. Just a big congratulations as well to Chris and to CJ. They picked up the Constructors' Championship for the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls, the only team to win two Constructors in Dive Bomb history. So that has been it. We had 2 seasons in 2019, we had 2 seasons in 2023, we've had 2 seasons in 2025, and we have got a third season. The first time ever we'll have 3 seasons on one game. Obviously, the game will continue on to 26. But in terms of the 2025 cars, it'll be the first time we've had 3 seasons for a calendar year set of cars. So make sure you tune in for that. 4 teams have been announced. Obviously, McLaren can change. Casper is in the league at the moment. If we can't find some quicker drivers, though, he'll have to drop back to that reserve role. And then he'll have to pick what 3 weeks he wants to race in. But that has been it for Dive Bomb. It's been another fantastic season. Make sure you check the Twitter and the TikTok page for the Dive Bomb Awards that will be out tonight after the final celebrations. But one more time, congratulations to Visa, RB, CGH, and Chris for the Constructors' Championship win. Congratulations to CGH, Drivers' Champion for Season 6. It was a hard graft, but it paid off in the end, and that pace that we knew he had in the tank in TGP2 and in Dive Bomb F1 last season finally paid off for him. He is your world champion. I have been Jack Craig 28. It's been a great season commentating, and I will see you in January after the Christmas break. So enjoy your Christmas, enjoy your new year, and don't forget about Dive Bomb returning next year.